Plaintiff Kristen Gamble says the defendant was her landlord for a year. And it didn't take Kristen long to realize that she lives beyond her means. Kristen claims bill collectors were constantly knocking on her door looking for the defendant. And Kristen suing her former landlord for a security deposit and emotional distress. Defendant Stephanie Epstein says after Kristen moved in with her, she realized she wasn't who Stephanie thought she was. Stephanie claims Kristen acted solely out of greed. And she's countersuing for painting costs and legal fees.
Start with you.
I first want to start a little bit about talking about Stephanie's character, because I actually do believe that is the reason why I do not have my deposit at this point in time. Stephanie was my landlord from April 2018 to 2019. And the first time I ever met her, she showed up cute as could be as a flashy little fashionista. And look at her. She deserves to be. But I learned very quickly that's only good if you can afford that lifestyle. And I learned that she couldn't, because people would come knock at my door 8 months out of the year that I lived there and would be looking for Stephanie for collections. Even the state of Texas came looking to file a lawsuit against her for property taxes.
What do you call that? Living the lifestyle that you can't
Living
afford.
the lifestyle that you can't
Living the high
afford.
life.
Hey, it's being young. We were all there once.
Nah, a lot of people, nah. No, that's called ghetto fabulous.
Ghetto fabulous.
Yes,
I like that.
when
Okay,
you buying fabulous things that you can't afford. Sleeping on the floor, on the couch, or in the studio. Yeah, you got you bag rich.
Bag rich.
Yeah, you 100,000, 50,000 in bags and sleeping on the couch. Go ahead.
That's good.
All right, so you saw and people were coming by, collection agencies, people, and everybody else saying
Correct.
she owed them.
She owed them money. The state of Texas
And when she walked out the door, she had on red bottoms every day. Go ahead.
Well, and I kind of always judged knowing that when this tight money situation was going to happen, because two predictors, she has a website that she sells her clothes on. That would have a lot of expensive clothes go on it. And then she has a luxury apartment in downtown Dallas, and that would go up for lease every short time, and then it would be done. And then I found out she was in Costa Rica, which that is fine. Everyone gets to take a vacation, but not on my dime.
On you, right. All right.
Not on my dime, Your Honor.
And how did you all get along otherwise?
I like Stephanie. I have no problem
Your
with
tenancy
Stephanie.
was fine. Sleeping on the floor, on the couch, or in the studio. Yeah, you got you bag rich.
Bag rich.
Yeah, you 100,000, 50,000 in bags and sleeping on the couch. Go ahead.
That's good.
Defendant Stephanie Epstein rented a room in her home to the plaintiff. And the plaintiff claims after she moved in, she discovered Stephanie lives way beyond her means.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Your Honor, it was very important to me to find a trustworthy tenant to live in my home. This was my childhood home that I grew up in, and unfortunately my mom passed away in 2017 and I inherited the house. Addressing some of the issues, this was the first time, I'm an only child, she was a single mother. It was the first time that I had all of these things that I had to deal with. I had to deal with taxes for the first time, all of these things that I didn't know how to do. So yes, I did have to address all of that, and maybe I wasn't on time, but everything was addressed and everything was handled. We connected over the fact that she had an elderly father. He was close by. I wanted to help her, so I thought that she would be a good tenant, but it turned out that she acted out of greed and wasn't who I thought she was.
How did she act out of greed?
Well, she was, after I found out that I was being sued, I called her, tried to resolve it over the phone, and she was not willing to resolve. I have correspondence with her.
Let me start.
Can I address that issue?
Yeah, give me the specifics also on why she owes you for the security deposit and emotional distress.
Okay. The reason she owes for the security deposit, that was $2,225. That was 1 month's rent, and I have that in documentation for you. Also, the $1,000 is for emotional distress, because I did have to keep tracking her down, and she kept promising me that she was going to pay. Actually, on June 27th.
Pay you what? That's what you haven't explained how she owes you.
to pay the full deposit back.
Why? Why?
Because I had left the place clean.
Okay.
I had done everything
So you haven't told me any of that. When did you move out?
I moved out on April 30th.
Okay. Was that voluntarily? What were the circumstances?
No, my lease was up.
Okay. All right. And then what happened? You asked for your security deposit back, and what did she tell you?
Well, I contacted her on May 28th and sent a text message to her because I had sent her my forwarding address. Per our contract, state law, it says in there that you have 30 days on or before to return the deposit. On May 28th, which is 21 days after I had sent her the forwarding address, I still didn't have a deposit, so I just wanted to make sure that she actually had my forwarding address. She said that she did, and that she'd be putting a check in the mail. Then I got back in town on June 10th and sent her a text, did not hear from her, called her on June 12th, did not hear from her.
Man, you didn't know what to do. You should have went right down to your local Gucci. That's what she was.
Your Honor.
Gucci with your money. But go ahead. You kept calling and
I called. That text was our normal form of communication. I then finally emailed her on the 14th. And on the 14th, she sent me back an email saying, you know, you're a great resident. She was out of town at that moment, and that she would cancel the first check, and that she actually had to pay to repaint. I had touched up paint with the paint that was in the house.
She agreed to return the deposit.
She agreed to return the deposits, but in the first, I'm sorry, Your Honor, in the first in the first email, she said it cost her $4,000 to repaint the house.
So she said she was going to deduct the paint
She was going to deduct on the first time
$1,000. She would
$1,000.
not give you $1,000.
The week later, I get a text message from her saying that her tenants had found someone cheaper to paint the house, but I'm confused because she said she already repainted the house.
Did she ever say, I will give you cash money back? Nothing about repainting, nothing about this. Did she say, I will give you your, or a portion of your money back?
When we were in negotiations, she said that she would get, I was always getting my full deposit back.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Yes, I do have correspondence. I have the photographs of the house.
No, I'll go back.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I want you to explain to me, as she has. First of all, she said that you didn't return the security deposit that she was due, and she continued to try and reach out to you, and one of your defenses was you had to paint the place. You tell me what happened regarding, and the discussions regarding the security deposit, and why you don't think you should return it.
Yes, Your Honor. I mailed her 2 checks. The first security deposit was deducted $1,000 for the paint quote that I received for $4,500 to repaint the home. There were 10 rooms that needed to be repainted. The house had, it looked like the walls had chicken pox on it. This is a direct quote from somebody that toured the property.
Because most painting is normal wear and tear. Everybody paints their house when they get a new tenant, ma'am.
Yes, sir. This was, I mean, Your Honor, this was not. This was not normal wear and tear. It was not normal wear and tear. There were spots.
In your opinion, but I make that decision today. And so far from what I see as normal wear and tear, unless you got anything else.
Then I got back in town on June 10th and sent her a text, did not hear from her. Called her on June 12th, did not hear from her.
Man, you didn't know what to do. You should have went right down to your local Gucci. That's what she was.
Your Honor.
Gucci with your money.
Defendant Stephanie Epstein rented a room in her home to the plaintiff. And the plaintiff claims after she moved in, she discovered Stephanie lives way beyond her means.
What have you told her about this? Have you ever told her you would pay her?
Yes, absolutely.
And how much did you tell her you would pay her?
I informed her that I would pay her $1,225, only deducting $1,000 from the paint job that I would have incurred the rest of the cost out of the kindness of my heart. I thought that me and her had a good relationship.
You gonna give her what out of the kindness of your heart?
I was only going to deduct $1,000 from the quote that I received.
Oh, of the $4,000?
Yes, and then I did have
you got a quote for $4,000 for this?
Yes, sir.
Let me see that.
There were 10 rooms that needed...
y'all both scamming me now. You're going to tell me there's a painting company that gave you something that says $4,400 for these little blotches on the wall. Got
Your
it.
Honor, there were 10 rooms that needed to be...
I understand. Well, show me the other 10 rooms, because this is one room. Show me the other 10 or the other 9.
I have another quote from my...
Show me the other 9, the pictures of any of the other 9 rooms. What you've given me is one room. Show me the damage on any other room. picture of the damage?
Your Honor, those are the pictures that I
Okay,
have.
front one room. Good enough.
Your
All
Honor.
right. And you say the reason you're keeping her $1,000 was for this, the paint, which you don't believe is normal wear and tear.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
otherwise, you say you do owe her $1,225. Is that what you're saying?
Your Honor, and then I had to incur legal fees for discussing this, which was $1,000.
Discussing it?
Or I had to incur legal fees for
What
this
did they tell
matter.
you? They told you were wrong?
We had several discussions.
Did they tell you were wrong?
No, Your Honor.
Did they
didn't.
write a letter to anybody telling you you were right? Did they write a letter to you telling you how to resolve a dispute that you have the right position on? Did the lawyer say that? Lawyers say, go to small claims and let the judge know that such and such. Or did the lawyer say, I'm going to write a letter? How much did you pay the lawyer?
$1,000.
Okay, and the lawyer gave you nothing but over the
have-
phone, go ahead and get sued. All right, you have anything from the lawyer
Yes, I
that
have
you
an
went
invoice.
to? And you would only win if you went to the lawyer and her case had been frivolous.
Your
You
Honor,
didn't have a frivolous case. You were supposed to go to the lawyer because you were supposed to give her all of her deposit back except for any exceptional damage, not repainting the room. Any landlord worth his salt repaints the room when the tenant leaves.
Your Honor, the
And
home-
that's part of the normal wear and tear. And I'll grant you your judgment and your claim is dismissed. This is normal wear and tear for one room. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Judgment for the plaintiff, your claim is dismissed.
I wish you the best.
I wish you the best. I never should have come to this, but hey, we'll be friends later, okay?
Of course we will, yes.